Hello, I'm Josh Rom, Associate Editor of the Royal Observer. Now, there's been a lot of news surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle recently, and I'm here to break it all down. Let's start from the beginning with the complete timeline. First and foremost, a report came in the Sunday Times stating that Prince Harry wanted to return to the UK more regularly. Sources close to the Duke of Sussex said that he wanted more face-to-face time with his charities, such as the Invictus Games, Scotty's Little Soldiers and the Halo Trust, that he wanted to establish more of a foothold in the UK, and he wanted to spend more time with his wider family. Very encouraging. Then came the bombshell news that Harry and Meghan were going to return to the UK for an extended period of time. Sources close to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex confirmed that their kids, Archie and Lilibet, were enrolled in local schools and that they would be staying very much in the UK. However, they would not be returning to royal duties and that they would still be undertaking commercial adventures or ventures, if you like. Then came the news, the piece of the puzzle, because a lot of royal commentators at the previous news said, why now? The security arrangements hadn't changed. Ravek is not granting Prince Harry security. He lost all of his appeals and the Met Police won't allow him to pay for close protection security, armed security. Then came the news that Meghan Markle was going to return to acting and was undertaking a role in a significant UK-based project, seemingly the other piece of the puzzle. Then came the next update, when that project was revealed to be season 3 of Guy Ritchie's Netflix hit, The Gentleman. Meghan was in advanced talks to join the season. And then came the confusing reporting. Tina Brown, former editor of Vanity Fair, claimed on Twitter that, well, the offer had been withdrawn. Advanced talks, they were off. Meghan is not going to star in Guy Ritchie's hit, The Gentleman. However, I spoke to sources this morning that told me, well, the Sussex team haven't heard anything about that, and that advanced talks are still very much underway. She's still very much in talks, and things look good to go. So there's been a lot of confusing reporting out there. Tina Brown claimed that Meghan was dropped due to immense backlash. Yes, backlash has been mixed. I think this is a real shame for Harry and Meghan for a number of reasons, and I'll break it down. It seems to be that the piece of the puzzle that was missing when Harry and Meghan announced their return to the UK was the drama role. Because, as I said before, things hadn't changed. Harry was still very much estranged from Prince William. Yes, he was buoyed and energised by his meeting with the King and Queen at Highgrove last month. That's what sources told the Sunday Times originally. Prince Harry was not going to become a full-time working member of the royal family. There was not going to be any half-in, half-out situation. His main sticking point has always been for bringing Meghan and the kids back to the UK was very much the security, and that had not changed. So why now? And I think the drama series answers that. Meghan's significant role in this drama was the answer, the piece to that puzzle of why now, why had things changed. But I think it would be a real shame for Meghan if she was cancelled from The Gentleman due to the backlash. And let me explain why. I, as a royal commentator, have previously been a critic of Harry and Meghan. The line that I've always took, alongside other royal commentators, has always, we've never begrudged them making money. How could you ever begrudge someone making their own way in the world, trying to earn money, trying to make a living? One can never do that. But I and a lot of other commentators have always said, as long as you don't slam the institution, we just want you to be happy, make your own way in the world, and don't exploit the royal family. Follow the deal of the Sandringham Summit. That has always been the line that has been taken. And I can see why there's a lot of negative or ill feeling from the British public because of the damage that Harry and Meghan not just did to the institution, but also did to wider, really, the country, really. Of course, Meghan and Harry sat down with Oprah Winfrey for CBS, where Meghan levelled accusations of racism against unnamed members of the royal family. Then came the docuseries on Netflix depicting the country as racist almost through the press, depicting the press as this negative force within the country, particularly the tabloid newspapers. And then, of course, in that series, Meghan mocking some of the pomp and circumstance and tradition around the royal family, particularly when it came to curtsying in front of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. That's something that I know a lot of the country took personally. And then, of course, there was Prince Harry's bombshell memoir, Spare. Harry and Meghan in their Oprah interviews, in their docu-series, wanting privacy. And yet, Prince Harry invading much of his own family's privacy in this memoir, detailing a lot of information that was previously not in the public domain. And, doing a lot of damage to his brother, Prince William. Her Majesty the Queen, Queen Camilla, depicting her as this wicked stepmother type figure and arguably doing a lot of long-term damage to the monarchy as well as continued damage to the country. However, the criticism levelled at Meghan in recent days has been really unnerving to a certain extent by a lot of, I'm not going to say the mainstream media, but definitely a lot of people online. And if she was to be dropped from the gentleman for quote-unquote backlash, as Tina Brown puts it, I think that will be a real shame because her recent projects haven't been exploiting the royal family in any way. Now, when it came to her appearance on MasterChef Australia, people have said, oh, she's using her Duchess of Sussex titles, that's exploiting the royal family. Whilst, yes, she was given the title by Her late Majesty the Queen as a wedding present, the Duchess of Sussex title is a title as part of the peerage, it's part of the aristocracy. It's not necessarily a royal title. She's not being introduced as Her Royal Highness on that programme. So the HRH royal title, the part of that, has not been used necessarily. And she herself on the programme basically made it clear of, you don't need to introduce me as royalty. She made it clear. Then, of course, just before that came her Daytime Emmy Award-nominated series on Netflix with Love Meghan, her lifestyle programme, her cooking show. Now, there was a lot to criticise from a showbiz perspective. Was there a lot of substance there? Not really. People have pointed to the fact that she's inauthentic, bringing in friends that she's never really met before just for the programme. And then, of course, cooking in a house which isn't her own house either. Now, there's a lot to say there from a showbiz perspective, especially when it comes to, oh, she's not cooking in her own house. Many a TV chef have done this. Gordon Ramsay has done it. Nigella Lawson has done it. Famous UK chefs that have made global programmes that have not cooked in their own homes have done that as well. Yes, we're in an age where audiences crave authenticity. And they crave proper substance when it comes to the content. Substance that arguably wasn't given with Love Meghan. But the show was still Daytime Emmy Award nominated, but it was still cancelled after 2 seasons. But the point that I'm trying to make here is in that programme, in her lifestyle range as ever, in the MasterChef Australia appearance, there was no slamming the institution. It's very clear that she just now wants to make her way in the world in a similar way to, let's just say, Gwyneth Paltrow. Do a little bit of acting, specialise in lifestyle content, have her own range of some sort, make her own money in that way, and then go around the world with Prince Harry doing philanthropic endeavours and Harry spending time with his charities that he is passionate about. That has been the line always that I've taken as a royal commentator. That as long as you don't slam the institution, you'll be fine. And Harry and Meghan at the moment, they're not slamming the institution. In fact, they're going away to want to reconcile with the institution. There was the private reconciliation with His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen at Highgrove last month with their children. They want to spend time with their wider family, which includes members of the royal family as well. They want to make their own way in the world. So why is there this backlash? Well, I believe that Harry and Meghan, through their past actions, have backed themselves somewhat into a corner. This is what they've become known for. They've become known for capitalising off the institution, for making their money from slamming the institution again and again. They're not doing that anymore. In fact, they want closer ties, but it's also very clear that people point to this half in, half out situation and people say, oh, well, this is just a stepping stone to become working members of the royal family again. But I don't necessarily think that is. I think the fact that Meghan is effectively moving her kids over and enrolling her kids in local schools just so she can land a part in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman and restart acting again, the very thing that she gave up to join the royal family and become a working member previously back in 2018, I think that speaks volumes for what they see as their commercial future. Then Prince Harry wanting to spend time with his personal charities. that doesn't mean that he's rejoining the royal family. Now, of course, there is going to be questions around Prince William and the fact that they're in closer geographical proximity to the royal family. Does that mean that we can see a reconciliation coming up in the future? Maybe, perhaps. Will there be added pressure for Prince William to reconcile with his brother on a personal level, similar in a way to their father, His Majesty the King? Maybe that's also a case, but we'll have to wait and see for that. I think having so much criticism levelled against Meghan and Harry for simply wanting to make their way in the world, rather uncalled for. And I think it's a real shame, because I think it's very clear once the return to acting was announced, that seems to be, as well as Prince Harry wanting to spend more time with his charities and establish more of a foothold in the country, the emphasis was on Prince Harry. When the return to acting was announced, the emphasis was back on Meghan Markle. And if she is dropped from the Netflix drama, I think that's a real shame. And I also think that would be a real loss to the Netflix drama. As I've also previously said, Meghan Markle is a global name. She is globally famous in the UK and around the world. Her featuring in any project would give it free publicity. This project being mentioned 1,000 times over in the press. I mean, look at Guy Ritchie's series, The Gentleman. That has gone from, one series on Netflix, second series premiering, to now this is now a huge global project that has been mentioned all around the world in connection to Meghan Markle. The free press, the free promotion that the series has been given right before its second series premieres, just because Meghan hasn't even been confirmed but has simply been attached to the project. From a showbiz perspective, you could not buy that press. And then I've obviously previously had chats with royal commentators on this channel, on the Royal Observer. Previously, I've spoken to Sam McAllister speaking about the risks when it came to press opportunities for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. But I've previously said I would love to see Meghan Markle sit in a junket alongside Guy Ritchie. I would love to see her conduct interviews with more journalists, fun, film-focused, television-focused interviews with journalists. If she doesn't want to answer questions around the royal family, she doesn't have to. She could say, I'd rather not answer that. Let's just focus on this TV series, which I'm here to promote and I'm really excited about. She could easily do that in interviews. And I think as well, if she does more interviews like that, then that could also help to tackle what people see as this authenticity problem. But fundamentally, I think it would be a real shame if she is dropped. And going forward here on the Royal Observer, I want to be fair to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. We cover here all members of the royal family, whether that's the King, the Queen, the Prince and Princess of Wales, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and as well Princess Eugenie, Beatrice, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, Princess Anne, Prince Edward, Duchess Sophie. We've got it all covered. But most importantly, I want to be fair. Criticism for the sake of criticism, you will not find that here on the Royal Observer channel. What you will find is detailed analysis, just like what I've done now, breakdowns, interviews with exclusive commentators, and well-sourced information. And that's what I think the Duke and Duchess of Sussex deserve going forward.